what is the impact of losing third-party cookies? I know in some of the other master classes we touched on that as well, but I think it's super important for everybody to fully understand the impact of what it's going to mean for us as advertisers, as brands, et cetera, to lose this third-party cookie data.
Yeah, absolutely. And before you start doing this, you want to know what you're looking for and what you're getting into. So it is worth asking the data provider their perspective on this too. What is going to happen? What is the impact of losing cookies? So do they understand it? Do they realize what is going to happen? Because for now, we're still using cookies. A lot of people and companies and vendors are still using them. They're everywhere. It's kind of easy to say, I'm going to go on a diet tomorrow while you're eating pizza and drinking beer. But what happens when the big day comes? Like, what happens? What's your plan? How are you actually going to go on that diet? And how are we going to actually live without cookies? So find a vendor that understands the struggle that is going to come with ripping this Band-Aid off and making the switch, because the cookie apocalypse, as Bill said, is coming. The death of retargeting as we know it, it's going to create some mass panic if you don't have a plan. So I mentioned you might be surprised how many products and vendors and sites actually all rely on cookies. Granted, they're not the most accurate, but they're tied into everything. And I think the idea of them going away has been scoffed about for a long time. It's been kicked around. It's been pushed out. I mean, right now we're looking at 2023 as like the actual end. But these cookie audiences that we've all thrived on, for so long to bring in new traffic, they're going to run dry with this change. And that's coming because of data concerns with personal information, with CCPA, with more privacy regulations and legislation. So the panic shouldn't be as scary as it's made out to be, because you can have a plan. If you're still banking on using those cookies to the bitter end and targeting new people and measuring in-market shoppers, it's going to become way harder. So it's going to impact a few major items. One of them is going to be your marketing. As advertisers say goodbye to cookies, they're also losing scale. So brands that use third-party cookies for an audience, and that's all they're using, are only reaching at most 50% of their shoppers. And that number is just going to continue to decline and decline until they finally go away in 2023. The other thing is that targeting is going to become incredibly difficult. Cookies are easily activated. All you got to do is click accept, and all of a sudden, as a marketer or as a company or a website, you've got tabs on these people. But when cookies go away, you suddenly have to rely on something else. And that's going to be a good thing, because now we've got way more accurate information, because it kind of leads into our next question about what kind of data you will be getting. And that's going to be households. But Bill, I'll let you ask the question.
I think obviously we have takeaways at the end of the presentation, but I think the main thing is you need to be asking your agency or your marketing team, whoever you're working with, like, what is your plan? I think that's very important, and they should have a good kind of plan for it. If they don't, then you need to figure out, what are you going to do? How are you going to take matters into your own hands? I think Julia touched on the impacts of third-party cookies. Obviously, efficiency of your targeting through your marketing, I think, is going to be impacted. I think also we didn't talk about the reporting, because if you've not heard, as Google Analytics starts sunsetting their program, they're going to the new Google Analytics. They're not going to be supporting IP addresses, so we're going to be losing some of those things there. Of course, we know that Google Analytics isn't always enough. It leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to tracking your metrics. And the other thing is the ability to grow your data. There's going to be a lot of data loss as people, with the new privacy laws and everything, makes it easier for them to opt out and drop off of your first party list. You're going to need to come up with ways to build more first party data. So, data loss, marketing, targeting, and reporting on your metrics.